headline news of the day. She is back, guys. She is back, and her name is Meesseman. Meesseman is making her return back to the WNBA. She will be back in a couple of days/weeks. She has to go through a process to legally be able to work again in the U.S. And so that stuff might take a little bit of time. But according to a bunch of reports, including ESPN, the New York Liberty is getting ready to sign Meesseman. So if you all thought that the New York Liberty were already a stacked team, well, kind of got to buckle up because they just added another jewel to their crown. You get it? Crown, Liberty. Anyway. They were already armed with some fantastic players like Breanna Stewart, Jonquel Jones, Sabrina Ionescu, Natasha Cloud. Now they are signing none other than Meesseman. Yes, that Meesseman, the best player, in my opinion, in Europe by far, and I would argue one of the best players in the world. Meesseman is heading her way over to the United States once again to play in the WNBA. Now, here's a little bit about Meesseman. This is someone who is a two-time Eurobasket MVP. This is someone who is a fantastic Euro club player. She has won the EuroLeague MVP for 3 times so far. This is someone who led the Olympics in scoring this past year. This is someone who is just absolutely fire. Absolutely fire. And once again, the rich does get richer, guys. So let's talk about what happened, what it means, and what Meesseman brings to the New York Liberty. Now, first, you all may be wondering, who in the world is Meesseman? Who is she? Why does everyone seem to care about her? Why does she matter? Who is Meesseman? Well, Meesseman, if you all are kind of newer, you may not know about her, but Meesseman was drafted in the second round of the WNBA draft in 2013, and really nobody really paid attention. It wasn't a big deal because at the time, no one really knew who Emma would turn out to be in terms of her as a player, right? But Washington Mystics GM Mike Thibault clearly saw something that no one else really saw because he drafted Meesseman, and she ended up blossoming into one of the smartest, most versatile players in the WNBA. As the years went on, Emma developed, winning the Most Improved Player of the Year award in 2015. Also becoming an All-Star for the first time in 2015. But her breakout moment in the WNBA had to have been in 2019 when the Washington Mystics ended up winning the WNBA championship. Yes, that team in 2019 was all about Elena Delle Donne. Absolutely. Elena Delle Donne was fantastic. But when it came to the playoffs, Meesseman went crazy. I'm talking averaging 19 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists per game for the entire postseason in 2019. And by the way, she did that coming off the bench. And she played so well in the postseason for 2019 that she even won the Finals MVP, guys. She won the Finals MVP in 2019 coming off the bench. This is the first time ever that a WNBA player won the Finals MVP as a reserve. Crazy numbers. Now, if you all look at her career stats in the WNBA, it's not crazy impressive. 11.5 points a game, 5.3 rebounds a game, 2.6 assists per game. But the thing that you have to remember is when it matters the most, meaning in postseason play, Meesseman is kind of unstoppable, right? This is someone who knows how to turn it up, right? And you all may be like, you know what? Yeah, that was a long time ago. Yeah. 2019 was a very, very long time ago. However, the thing about Emma is she is still doing her thing today. Meaning, she just had a masterful 2025. We're going to talk about that more in a sec. But she was great. She's great. In 2022, she ended up spending one season with the Chicago Sky, where she tried to help the Chicago Sky win their back-to-back championship. And as we know, that did not happen. And Meesseman is just one of those players, right? where she has found a ton of success in the WNBA, and she has found actually even more success overseas. In fact, you could argue that her game is way better overseas than in the WNBA, and I think the stats kind of bear that out, especially in international competitions. This is someone who won the EuroLeague MVP honors multiple times. She led Belgium to multiple Eurobasket titles, including this year, and she just finished torching the Olympic tournament as the leading scorer in 2024. Simply put, guys, Emma Meesseman is still in her prime. Yes, she's in her 30s, but she is still in her prime and has been the best player not in the WNBA for the past several years. And as I said earlier, she's been on a tear in 2025. How much of a tear? Well, let me tell you. Her club team, Fenerbahce, with her team, Fenerbahce, she ended up winning the EuroLeague MVP for the third time in 2025. Also, she ended up winning for the third time in a row the Turkish Super League Championship, and also for the third time in a row, she won the Turkish Super League Finals MVP, and with Team Belgium, she most recently won the FIBA Eurobasket tournament and was also, surprise, surprise, the MVP of the tournament as well. Now, if Emma could add a WNBA championship to her 2025 list of accomplishments, guys, this may go down as Emma Meesseman this year may go down as the best calendar year for any women's basketball player ever. Winning Eurobasket, MVP of Eurobasket, MVP of the Turkish Super League. Like, I'm just saying, like, crazy accomplishments in 2025 for Emma Meesseman. All that's left to do really is to win a WNBA championship. So you all may be wondering, why now? Why in the world is Emma Meesseman coming back to the United States? Why in the world is she coming back to the WNBA? Well, because she wants to win. Right? She wants to win. Emma Meesseman has not played in the WNBA since her last season with the Chicago Sky in 2022. And she's been pretty vocal in the past about why she stepped away. The WNBA's controversial prioritization rule, which forces players to prioritize WNBA duties over overseas commitments, has really been a sticking point for her and a lot of other players. Emma Meesseman is fiercely loyal to her Belgium national team, absolutely. And she's fiercely loyal to her European clubs as well. And she didn't appreciate being forced to choose, right? Also, the New York Liberty are a team that is poised to likely repeat once again. Absolutely. She ends up being on a team that is looking really good before adding her. And now adding her, ooh, they look fantastic. Super team, might I say? Maybe? Question mark. There were even some whispers over the past couple of months and years that maybe Emma Meesseman would never come back to the WNBA, right? And recently, we heard reporting that Emma Meesseman was considering coming back to the WNBA. Very recently, right? And then some of the teams that were in the mix were the Liberty, the Lynx, the Mercury. They were all reportedly courting Emma Meesseman. Even Breanna Stewart was talked about it recently, and she was kind of trying to play coy, trying to see if she was in touch with Emma, and she was like, hey, maybe, had a little smirk on her face, and hey, maybe was right. I guess she was in contact with her. But the New York Liberty, their culture, their championship, their pedigree, their roster of familiar faces, including Breanna Stewart, Natasha Cloud, Sandy Brondello, all of whom have played with Emma overseas, that probably helped to seal the deal. Probably. I mean, I would assume so. I would assume that was a huge help as to why Emma Meesseman chose New York, because not only is this team looking like they're probably going to win a WNBA championship, but also they're filled with familiar faces for Emma, which is very helpful for someone who, is new to a team coming in the second half of the year. So Also, a thing to note is that the reason why the Liberty were able to sign her is because of cap space, right? The Liberty had the cap space to get Emma Meesseman paid a proper amount. Minnesota just couldn't offer as much as the New York Liberty. They just couldn't, right? And when it comes to money, when it comes to likelihood of winning, New York was the best option. So, what does Emma Meesseman bring the New York Liberty? Well, she brings them a lot. This is where it kind of gets a little bit of scary hours when it comes to just teams looking at the front court, right? Because the Liberty are already loaded in the front court with two former MVPs in Breanna Stewart and Jonquel Jones, right? Then you go to the guards. You got Natasha Cloud as a point guard, someone who has experience playing with Emma Meesseman, someone who's having a fantastic season. You got Sabrina Ionescu, who spaces the floor like crazy and can kill you from deep. But when it comes to the Liberty this season, their major weakness has been health, right? Due to Jonquel Jones being out for several weeks, the offense for the New York Liberty didn't always look fluid, right? Jonquel Jones is a major piece for this New York Liberty team. She is someone who they can give the ball to and can serve as a really good facilitator from the post. And there was some, when injuries happen, you have to adjust. And yes, the New York Liberty still are a very good team in the WNBA. However, we do know when Jonquel Jones is on the floor and Jonquel Jones gets a double-double, the New York Liberty are basically guaranteed to win. With her being out for several games, it's been a bit of a struggle of sorts. Yes, New York is still getting out some wins. However, they're not doing it as easily as they probably would have with Jonquel, and they have also lost some games as well. All right, so that's something to know. And with Jonquel Jones having some injuries that she's been dealing with, and quick thing to note is that Jonquel Jones should be back today. All right, as of yesterday, she was not listed on the injury list for the New York Liberty, so it is likely that Jonquel will be on the floor today. However, you never know if she is going to be fully back right away, or in terms of timing and whatnot. Like that's absolutely a thing. But the thing to note is, guys, without Jonquel on the court, the Liberty overall, movement-wise, offensively, movement slows down a little bit. And they lose some of the elite post passing that Jonquel Jones could do. And then with that, you enter Emma Meesseman, stage left. Emma Meesseman is a walking bucket. She has basketball IQ for days. She is a passing hub in the post. She is someone who can read the game about 2 to 3 steps ahead. She does not need touches to be effective. That's one of the rare things about Emma Meesseman. Absolutely. Does she get a lot of touches? Sure. Yes, she does. However, she doesn't need to constantly have the ball to be effective. She is someone who can be a plug in here player, right? Plug and play superstar, right? That's someone who can just fit in anywhere and make other people better without dominating the ball. Now, this is a lot of versatility that doesn't just fit in normally with the New York Liberty. It is actually something that makes the New York Liberty significantly better, right? So with her addition to the New York Liberty, y'all, I'm imagining some crazy lineups, okay? Crazy lineups. Can you imagine Stewie sliding in at the 3? Then you got Emma Meesseman at the 4, Jonquel Jones at the 5. At the 1, let's just say you have Natasha Cloud, and at the 2 you got Leonie Fibich, or you got Sabrina Ionescu, right? Or at the 1 you got Sabrina, at the 2 you got Leonie Fibich, 3 Stewie, 4 Emma, 5 Jonquel Jones. Can y'all imagine the crazy heights that is? And you tell me a team in the WNBA that can realistically go against that for a 5-game series. It's looking very good. Now, is this a foregone conclusion that the Liberty are winning the championship? No, anything can happen. However, with this move, I think they have the best chance possible. And I could absolutely see them just dominate. Again, height. Yeah, Quintus, crazy height. That's height for days. Height for days. I'm telling you. And Stewie can absolutely play the three. She can totally play the three. I'm just saying, right? It's wild to imagine, guys. So if you're wondering what this means for the league, well, this means that the Liberty have just widened the gap again. Minnesota and Phoenix have been breathing down the Liberty's neck all season. And this move by the Liberty does tip the scale back to New York. Now, don't get me wrong. The Lynx are still an elite squad. Absolutely. You cannot downplay how great, how freaking amazing the New York Liberty are. They're great. Absolutely. Right? Not only do you have Nafisa Collier, you got Alana Smith, who was severely underrated. Right? You got Kayla McBride, who would knock down threes for days. You got Courtney Williams, an elite mid-range assassin. Right? Like, you got some players on the Minnesota Lynx. Absolutely. And then you also have the Phoenix Mercury, who are looking good, guys. Even with all of the injuries the Phoenix Mercury are dealing with, they are still finding ways to win. And if they can get healthy by the time postseason comes, I mean, come on now. You got Alyssa Thomas, the engine. You got Kalia Copper, just the person who just goes, and goes. Who can get to the rim at will, who can knock down shots and be a big bucket for your team. You also have Satu Sabli, who is rocking and rolling, the unicorn, right? She's doing her thing. And then you got the rookies. You got Monique Akoa-Makani, who is fantastic. I love watching Monique Akoa-Makani do her thing because she is elite. You also have Kat Westbell. You there's lots of other players who are just playing their role really, really well for the Phoenix Mercury. So there are other teams who are good, really, really good. But adding Emma Meesseman to the New York Liberty, a team that is already good, well, it is a heavyweight flex for the New York Liberty. Now, make no mistake, there is a lot of pressure now because everyone in the league is watching the New York Liberty and thinking, hey, y'all better win this or something is seriously wrong, right? So, bold move by New York Liberty GM Jonathan Colby. I think Colby is how you say his last name. And, you know, he has done a great job, like truly great job. And this is a gamble that is worth taking. Absolutely worth taking. Emma Meesseman is one of the most respected, one of the most accomplished, one of the most intelligent basketball players in the world. She won just about everywhere she has been, and she's coming to Brooklyn hungry for more. So now, New York Liberty fans, hey, this is Christmas in July. For everybody else, well, you better figure out how to stop them fast. Because as of today, the rich just got richer, and the rest of the WNBA is officially on notice, okay? And also, by the way, the New York Liberty just signed Stephanie Talbot to a rest of the season contract. Stephanie Talbot was recently with the Golden State Valkyries, but was waived. Okay, that was a lot. So I do want to take some time to get you all's comments before we move on to the other stuff, and then we'll also take a look at her hoop stats so you all can see how the finances work, because financially this is all good. I've heard some people say that New York is doing something nefarious under the table or something, because how in the world do they get all of these top-notch players? Well, cap sheet magic. Okay, that's how they did it. Cap sheet magic. Geechee says, okay, I'm tired of hearing about the rich getting richer. Well, yeah. All right. L. Kune says, I love Monique Akoa-Makani too. People don't talk about her enough. She's amazing. She is. Like, I'm a huge fan of her. And also, I just love her name. Like, I don't know. Monique Akoa-Makani. Like, it's just such a fantastic name. Such a fantastic name. All right. Let's see what you all have to say. Sam is saying a starting lineup. Okay. Sabrina, Phoebish, Stewie, Emma, JJ. Yeah, that'd be crazy. Crazy. Ghost says Fee is going to struggle with JJ, Meesseman, and Stewie crashing down on her every play. Yeah, I'm telling you, height is insane. And y'all know how tall Leonie Phoebus is, right? So like if Sam's starting lineup was correct, guys, I mean the only short player on the team would be, or only short player in the starting lineup would be Sabrina Ionescu. And so, it's it's a thing. It is an absolute thing, and hey, they're looking pretty good. Okay. B. Harris says, let's see Emma numbers overseas is not real basketball. Really? You think so? You think Eurobasket is not real basketball? You think so? Really? And here's the thing that a lot of people don't talk about when it comes to physicality. Guys, I put overseas play, specifically in Europe, in terms of physicality. So if you're able to make it in Europe with the physical play that exists over there, I mean, you're going to do great in the WNBA. And we already saw Emma do great in the WNBA. If you don't remember, she was the MVP of the finals in 2019. Now, yes, 2019 was a long time ago. However, just saying. Michael says, I can see this not working. Is it possible for this not to work? Sure. But, I don't know, all signs indicate that it will. All signs indicate that it will. Row 2 says, on paper, it definitely looks good for the Liberty. Their GM has been working strategically. I agree. They're looking pretty great. Yeah, they did cut Marquisha Davis. They did cut her. Yep. Michael says, I wonder if they all will work together as a team. Some are going to get less touches / playing time. I think they will be fine, but you never know. That is true. El Kune says, overseas is tough. The refs don't call fouls like they do in the U.S. You saw how the French team beat up the U.S. in that gold medal game. Yeah. And so, like, I'm just saying, like, it's a battlefield. Y'all talking about, the WNBA is so physical, so tough, and blah, 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 blah. Make it in Europe. If a player is making it in Europe, I mean, they tough. They got toughness for days. If they're making it for consecutive seasons in the top European leagues, I'm just saying, it's a tough way to go in terms of the physicality. Okay, and Emma Meesseman, as I said earlier, has been still at the top of Europe. At the top. Okay. Let's talk about some more stuff. And guys, again, as we go through this, please let me know you all's thoughts. Let me know. Okay. Now let's continue on. Now, when I found out that the New York Liberty was getting Emma Meesseman, I also saw some people that were like, hey, what is going on? There is something nefarious happening, because it is no way that the New York Liberty were able to get her. They must be cheating. There must be something bad happening. And I have to tell you guys, no, this is not an example of the New York Liberty cheating at all. This is an example of fantastic GM work. That's what this is. Here is herhoopstats.com. This is where I go all the time to find out how much people are getting paid. And so, yeah. Let's go through this, okay? Here's a cap sheet for the New York Liberty. And as we can see, top of the heap is Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, Natasha Cloud, and Jonquel Jones. A thing to note, guys, is that Benigna Laney Hamilton is they still technically have the rights to her for the New York Liberty. However, she was supposed to play this season for the New York Liberty. However, she did get injured in Unrivaled. So, and her injury was substantial enough where she would have to miss the entirety of this year's season. And because of that, the New York Liberty suspended her contract, which is something that teams are allowed to do, right? If you are injured or whatever, you are not able to play, they're able to suspend your contract, which means they keep your rights, but they don't have to pay you for that year because you got injured outside of the WNBA. All right. And so don't worry about her. She was able to get paid by the Unrivaled folks because she got injured and because she missed the entire season. Due to the contract and whatnot with Unrivaled, they have agreed to pay her full salary. So Benigna is still getting her money. She's getting her money, but the benefit is that the New York Liberty do not have to pay her for the season because she's out. So they suspended her contract. And if you look at the rest of the contracts, they're very, very low, right? You got Niara Sabli still on a rookie deal. You got Kennedy Burke still on a not very high dollar amount deal, right? You have same thing for Isabel Harrison, right? You have Leonie Febich only making $68,000. Guys, Leonie Febich, someone who has turned into a top-notch starter in the WNBA. She's only getting paid $68,000. That's how it works, guys. That's how it works, right? What you want to do is you want to sign top-notch players, especially if they're not like on those veteran amounts. You want to sign them to as little money as possible, so you have wiggle room to do stuff, and you make sure to sign them as unrestricted free agents. So now at this point, yes, now they're all guaranteed for the rest of the season, but you're still able to sign them and possibly cut them if it doesn't all work out. So Niara Sabli, Kennedy Burke, Isabel Harrison, Leonie Febich, not getting paid that much money. And then we also have Rebecca Gardner, Maureen Johannes, and Jalen Sherrod, which we all know that Marquisha Davis was cut. Han Shu is suspended, and they still have the rights to Doikage, but she's not playing with the team this year. And that puts the New York Liberty at $154,000 left in cap space. Now, we do know the news that they did end up signing Stephanie Talbot, and so she's going to take a portion of that. But a significant amount of that, likely around $100K or so, we'll find out the actual numbers soonish, but around $100K will be going to Emma Meesseman. Again, they had the money to sign her. And because she's joining halfway in the year, they have the money, because they're only paying her for about, at this point, less than 20 games, right? Which is substantially less than what you would have to do. Salary cap space is beneficial to teams if you really know how to work it. And for the New York Liberty, they really know how to work it. They really do. Because again, the majority of your team are players who are getting paid less than $80,000. Less than $80,000. That is how you structure a team. Now, is it great for the players to be getting such few amounts of money? No. However, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's within the rules, which is why the CBA fight is such a big fight, because teams and players are like, hey, we want more money. We want to get what we are worth, and truly, they do need to get what they are worth. And so that is something to note, guys. That is absolutely something to note. And something I wanted to just show you all, because they're not doing anything under the table. It's not cheating. They're just very smart, and they have a lot of luck. So yeah, yes, this team is going to have 2 former WNBA season MVPs and a finals MVP and a Eurobasket MVP on their team. Yes, this team is going to look very good. But the reason why is because they have key players like a Kennedy Burke, like a Leonie Febich, like a Maureen Johannes, Rebecca Gardner, who are all getting paid less than $80,000 a year. That's how they're able to do it. And when we talk about GMs, when we talk about teams making really good decisions and whatnot, we should be talking about this. We should be talking about how teams structure themselves. Okay. Now, 2026 is going to be crazy because basically everybody's a free agent. But yeah, that is something to note that I just wanted to talk about. And so yeah. Okay. All right, guys. All right. I do want to move on to the next topic. And the next topic is something that I can pretty much guarantee you haven't heard about, I think. I can pretty much guarantee that this next topic that we're about to talk about, you have not heard about, okay? But we got a super chat, so let's get to that real quick. Got a super chat from Ghost. Thank you so much, Ghost, for the super chat. Says, can you compare New York's salary breakdown with another team? Yes, sure I can. Let's compare it to, let's say the Las Vegas Aces, okay? Okay, let's compare it to the Las Vegas Aces, okay? Now, Las Vegas Aces, this is their cap sheet. The Aces have 4 players getting paid over $160K. So you got Jewel Lloyd, Asia Wilson, Chelsea Gray, and Jackie Young, right? Then, as we said, with New York, basically the majority of their players are getting paid less than $80,000, okay? Now, for The Aces, they're actually paying their players significantly more, which is why they don't have cap space. All right. Okay, we can look at this. Okay, look at this. 4 players getting paid over 160. Kia Stokes getting paid 103. Megan Gustafson 96. Nelissa 91. Dana 89. Kirsten Bell 84. And in order to get under 80K, we're going down to Cheyenne Parker Tyus and Aaliyah 9. You all get what I'm saying? You all understand what I'm saying? Like, the amount of money that the Aces are shelling out compared to, again, let's look at this. This is the Aces, okay? And then we look at the New York Liberty. And again, we see that huge split of key contributors getting paid not a lot of money. Now, should players get paid more? Absolutely. Absolutely. This is not, but New York has figured out a way to get players to sign on less money.